Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And today we are doing my official 2024-2025 NFL season tier list for all 32 NFL teams. We're going to be putting them on this tier list right here. I think you guys understand 12 plus wins, 10 to 11 wins, 8 to 9, 6 to 7, 5 or less. And then first pick, which is the worst team, I think, next year. Let's get right into it. We're just going to go in the order with these teams. Starting off with the Cardinals, had a pretty good offseason, drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. I think I'll give them 7 wins this season. I do not think they're going to make the playoffs, but they are a very solid young team. If Kyler can play well, there's no reason they can't be better than last year. Next off, we have the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. I'm going to give them 9 wins. I'm not as high on them as other people are. I think they're a good team. They should be able to win the division still. I like the Buccaneers, but I still think they should win the division. But I don't think they're going to win a playoff game. Whoever the 5 seed is in the NFC, if it's like the Cowboys or the Eagles, I think they can both destroy the Falcons in a playoff game. But that's just my opinion. I think the Falcons are going to be good, but not great in 2024. The Ravens are going to get 11 wins in 2024. They're in a tough division. They have a team that I think is going to be really, really good next year. And obviously, they have the Steelers and the Browns as well. That's really, really good team is the Bengals that I'm talking about. We'll put them in a second. Yeah, Ravens at 11 wins. They got Derrick Henry. He is a little bit past his prime. He still is really good. He's just not as good as he used to be. If you guys know what I mean. Which is fair. It's a fair take. The Bills, I got the Bills regressing a little bit in 2024. I'm going to give them 10 wins. They don't have Stephon Diggs. They don't have Gabe Davis. They lost their center, Mitch Morse. But they have okay weapons. Just a lot of mid. Like Curtis Samuel, I believe, is there now. Chase Claypool. They have a lot of mid weapons, but no one like super good. So they're gonna be running the ball a lot with Josh Allen and James Cook. That's my prediction for the Bills. I think 10 wins is fair. I have another team in that division that's gonna win it. I think the Bills will get a wild card in 2024. The Panthers are up next. I have them with 6 wins. I think they'll be better in 2024, but not great. Bryce Young, I think, is a good quarterback. He just needed better weapons, and he got that. He got 2 new linemen. One is Robert Hunt. I forgot the other one. And I know they picked up weapons in the draft. Jatavian Sanders, Xavier Legette, Jonathan Brooks. And then they also traded for Deontay Johnson. So they should have a really nice offense in 2024. The defense did lose some pieces like Brian Burns, but they will still be a good unit. Now we have the Chicago Bears. I'm going to give the Bears 10 wins. I'm obviously looking at their schedule a lot because I am a Bears fan. I'm not going to be too high on them. Like, I know there's some people on talk shows that give them 12, 13 wins. But, like, I think they're going to be good. I just don't want to overdo it, especially if Caleb doesn't have a great rookie year, which I think he will. But this team is really good. We got Keenan Allen. We still have DJ Moore. We got DeAndre Swift. We improved the team a lot over the offseason. And I think Ryan Poles is doing great things with the Chicago Bears. Now we have the Bengals. I'm going to give the Bengals 12 wins. I can't give them 13 because just that division. I think they'll split with the Browns and the Ravens because it feels like they always do. And I think they'll sweep the Steelers. It's kind of a hot take, but I do think they will sweep the Steelers. I think Joe Burrow's going to be healthy. T. Higgins will play. Jamar Chase will play. They're going to be great next year. A dark horse Super Bowl contender for me. I know a lot of people picked them for the Super Bowl, but Obviously, with the Chiefs, it's not going to be the favorite, but I do have the Bengals making the Super Bowl out of the AFC side. The Browns are going to regress. They're going to go to 9 wins. I still think they should be above 500, but I don't think they'll get into the 10 plus win category this year. Because, first off, Deshaun Watson, I don't believe in him as a quarterback anymore. I think he's washed. I do not think he's super good anymore. And his best days are likely behind him. I like Nick Chubb a lot. I just don't know how he's going to play next season after injuring his leg in week 2. But hopefully he can do well again because he's one of my favorite players in the league. I have his jersey. He's a great guy, by the way. Cowboys, we're going to give the Cowboys 12 wins. It feels like they always get 12 wins, so we'll give them that again. They're always good in the regular season. I don't care that they didn't have a great offseason. They'll still be good in the regular season. You have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. Like, this is your last year of being really good without having to pay everyone tons of money. And then they'll probably be in a bad situation after the season. But for this season, they should be good. Broncos. The Broncos are actually going to be my first pick team. I think they'll be the worst team in the league. Your quarterback situation is Bo Nix or Zach Wilson. That's not good. You might lose Courtland Sutton. You already lost Jerry Jeudy. Javonte Williams has never stayed healthy. The O-line is okay. The defense, you lost Justin Simmons. You might lose Patrick Surtain to a trade or free agency in a few years if you don't re-sign him. So you're just in a bad situation if you're the Broncos. You can't look at that Russell Wilson trade anymore, though. You gotta just keep building your team and hope that Bo Nix works out with Sean Payton. The Lions are gonna get 12 wins. I don't think they're gonna be the top seed in the NFC. I think they'll be one of the top teams in the NFC, but not the best. I like the Lions team a lot. They picked up some nice people in the offseason. They didn't lose anyone super notable either. So I think they should be able to run it back and maybe even be better than last year. The Packers are going to get 10 wins with the Bears. I am sold on Jordan Love being a really good quarterback. I'm not sold on him being top 5 or anything like that yet. I don't think he's going to hit that level. But he did look really good in the second half of 2023. They got Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney. Those are the big notable free agent moves. And yeah, I like this Packers team a lot. Coming from a Bears fan, I think this Packers team is really good. Which stinks, but it is true. We have to admit that. The Texans are going to get 14 wins. It sounds like I'm jumping the gun. I don't think I am. CJ Stroud is going to be even better. Stephon Diggs, Danielle Hunter, Joe Mixon. You have that receiving core. Not only Diggs, but you have Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown. And that's a really good receiving core. That's one of the probably the best in the league, if I'm going to be honest. That is the top receiving core in my eyes. There's no reason why they can't be the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is what I'm going to give them. I'm going to give them the top seed in the AFC, and that's kind of one of my hot takes. The Indianapolis Colts are going to get 10 wins. I'm a big Anthony Richardson believer. Even if he doesn't get those like 4,000 yard passing numbers, he can do it on the ground if he knows when to slide and he doesn't get hurt like last year. They're going to be really good. I do believe that. Jonathan Taylor has always been a great running back with Michael Pittman and Donnie Mitchell, Morley Cox. These are just the guys coming to my mind right now. The Colts are going to be really good. And they have a very good D-line. People forget how good that D-line is in Indianapolis. Jacksonville is going to about stay the same. I'm going to give them 8 wins. I think they made a mistake by overpaying for Trevor Lawrence. I am recording this video on June 14th. So the Trevor Lawrence contract was made. I think it was an overpay. I think Trevor Lawrence is above average, but barely above average. I think they could have really used that money for other positions. And whoever Trevor Lawrence's agent is, if he has an agent, good job. You guys fleeced the Jaguars, but it doesn't make the team better. I'm going to put them at 8 wins. The Chiefs, I don't think are going to have an awesome regular season. They usually haven't in the past couple of years. I'm still going to give them 11 wins. They're obviously going to win the division. But I don't think they're going to have that great of a regular season. They're a playoff team. That's what the Chiefs are built for. That's what they'll always be built for. Unless they got like a Tyreek Hill. They might have a Tyreek Hill 2.0 and Xavier Worthy. We have to see it to believe it first, though. For now, they are going to get the 11-win mark. The Raiders are going to get 8 wins. I think the Raiders team is very average. They're top heavy on offense, solid on defense with a really good D-line, but okay linebackers and a not so great secondary. But I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's going to do what Derek Carr and Aiden O'Connell couldn't do, is get the playmakers the ball at a high level. Obviously, Devontae still gets his numbers, but I think Gardner Minshew is going to be better than Carr and Aiden O'Connell were. That's my take for the Raiders. Moving on to the Chargers. We're going to give the Chargers 7 wins. This is kind of a retooling year in Los Angeles for the Chargers. You have Justin Herbert, and that's really it on offense. You have a great O-line now with Joe Alt in the draft. But who else are you going to really have at receiver? I like Ladd McConkey. I like Brendan Rice, but they're rookies. We got to see if they are good before we can really say that the receiving core is fine. And for now, it's not fine. They probably need to go get someone else. Unless they're just going to be a run team, then I can respect that. But if you want to pass the ball, you got to get someone else for Herbert besides McConkey and Brendan Rice. The Los Angeles Rams now, we're going to give the Rams 10 wins. I'm a high believer in the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a great year. Cooper Kupp is past his prime, in my opinion. I could tell, last season after he came back from injury, he wasn't the same. But you have Puka, you have Kyren Williams. You're fine on offense. And then on defense, you have a lot of young pieces that you can work around. Obviously, you lost Aaron Donald. That's a big loss. But now that means your young guys get to dominate more. So we'll see what people like Byron Young and Kobe Turner get to do on the Rams. The Dolphins are going to get 10 wins. They're going to manage their way to getting 10. They just signed Calais Campbell yesterday. They got Kendall Fuller, Jordan Poyer. Their defense is stacked. They have a really good defense now. But I'm just not a Tua believer. For what he's done in the NFL, I've never been sold on Tua. I do not think he is that great. I think he can manage the team, which is sometimes all you have to do, but I've never been high on lefty quarterbacks. Something about, having to completely change what you do for a lefty quarterback. Instead of focusing on left tackle, you have to focus on right tackle. You probably have to run different plays for a lefty. I've never been high on lefty quarterbacks, and that's how I feel. Minnesota Vikings are going to get 7 wins. They're in a really hard division. The NFC North is a top 3 division at least heading into 2024. You have the Bears you have to play twice, the Packers, and the Lions. You all have to play those teams combined 6 times. That is not helpful for a rookie quarterback with J.J. McCarthy. Luckily, a lot of those games are going to be later in the season. Kind of like with the Bears and Caleb. All your division games are going to be later in the season. You obviously re-signed Justin Jefferson. You have the second-year player, Jordan Addison. TJ Hawkinson, I don't think he's going to be ready. He might be back halfway through the season. We don't know. And you have a solid O-line, a solid defense. It's just not going to be enough in this gruesome NFC North. The Patriots are going to probably get 5 wins. I like Drake May. I don't think he's going to start the year. It's probably going to be Jacoby Brissett. They'll put Drake May in around halfway through the year, is my prediction. I think Drake May is going to be pretty good in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be as good as Josh Allen, which is kind of the comparison I see a lot on social media. But I think he's going to be good in the NFL. He's just going to take some time. Don't have a lot of weapons over there in New England. You have a solid defense. You always have had a solid defense if you're New England. But just not enough to really go out and do anything right now in 2024. The Saints are going to get 8 wins. They're just very mid. They're the most mid team in the NFL, in my opinion. Derek Carr is average. Your rest of the offense is average. You have Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, old Alvin Kamara. Like, it's very average. It's not bad. It's not great either. Like, you guys are going to be okay, like you have been. Just not contending for a top seed. You're either going to be looking at the division with the Falcons being on your tail, or probably you're going to have to be on the Falcons' tail, or you're going to be looking for that like 7-6 seed. I just don't see you guys being that great in 2024, and you guys miss the playoffs and blow everything up next season. The Giants are going to get 4 wins. They have a really good defense, which is what is giving them all 4 of those wins. They can hold bad offenses, and then maybe their offense finds a way to score a touchdown or 2. The offense is horrible. It always has been. You have Malik Neighbors, but who's going to throw him the ball? Either Daniel Jones, who's probably going to be hurt. You have Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito was fun. Drew Lock is a solid player, but not good enough to win football games at a high level or even at a consistent level. That's why you guys are going to have another rough year, and the Daniel Jones contract is going to continue to look worse. I'm going to be excited to look back on these projections. If you guys want me to do a video where I look back on last year's projections, I know that was kind of old because like the whole season is done, but I can look back on those. I know I had some horrible takes. We'll see though. We'll see. The New York Jets are going to get 12 wins. I think Aaron Rodgers is on his like evil side right now. Like, he's not going up the mandatory minicamp. He tore his ACL last year. Sorry, not ACL, Achilles. I think he's on some sort of like, revenge. I'm in the edit type of deal. I think he's going to cook in 2024. And the Jets are going to win the division for the first time in I don't even know how long. I'm going to be honest. The Eagles, I'll give the Eagles 13 wins. Give them the 2 seed in the NFC. I do think the Eagles have a high ceiling, but they also have not so good floor. Like their floor, I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow find their way to 8-9 wins, which is terrible for this Eagles team. You have so many talented players on all the aspects in football, but like in that wild card game against the Bucks, you guys could not tackle for anything. We don't know if that's going to be fixed or not. You guys have to work on that. If you're not able to tackle next season, you're not going to be able to win football games. And that's just how football works. So I'm going to give them 13 wins. I think they'll figure out their issues. But you never know. And they might not. The Steelers are going to somehow find a way, get 9 wins. It feels like they always do. Mike Tomlin, never been below 500. No reason for me to believe that he will lose it. He got better quarterbacks and really didn't lose anyone besides Deontay Johnson. You have George Pickens, and you have a really solid O-line. You're building it up in the draft. It just depends who you're going to start, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. I'm a Justin Fields guy. Obviously, he didn't work out with Chicago, and maybe he just needed a new start. I think Pittsburgh is going to take him in, and he's going to be a lot more likable than Russell Wilson, which I like Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson is a good dude. He's just kind of corny. But I wouldn't be surprised if they start Fields if Russ is struggling. The 49ers, I got the 49ers winning 15 games, securing the 1 seed. I think they're going to put it all on this season, like revenge from the Super Bowl. They're just going to want to destroy every team they play. And they have a manageable schedule, I think. They have obviously a lot of rough games. They're a top team in the NFL. But looking at their roster compared to basically every other roster in the league, like, I just don't know who can really destroy them on a given Sunday or even beat them. Like, player for player, the Niners have the best roster in the league. They're the strongest on multiple positions, and they should be a top team, and they probably should have won the Super Bowl last year. They were a better team than the Chiefs. The Chiefs just ran everything better than the Niners. We'll see what the Niners can do this year. I have them dominating the league, though. Seahawks are going to get 7 wins. It's kind of a hot take. I think the Seahawks are decent, but they're going to fall off a little bit. Gino's okay. Sam Howell's okay. But besides that, like, you have a good receiving core, a alright O-line. You're just playing in a very weird NFC West. You have the Niners, who are probably going to 2-0 you. The Rams, who could probably 2-0 you as well. And then the Cardinals. I wouldn't be surprised if they split with the Cardinals. So I have to give them 7 wins. Although I want to give them 8 or 9 because of hiring Mike Macdonald. But Pete Carroll leaving, or at least not being the head coach, is a big loss. You obviously lost Bobby Wagner as well. So I have to give them 7 wins. The Bucs are going to regress slightly by 1 game. They're going to go 8-9, miss the playoffs. Unfortunately, I like Baker Mayfield a lot. I think he's still going to play good in 2024, but not as good as last year. I think Mike Evans is going to have his first non-1,000-yard receiving season. That's my hot take for the Buccaneers. If you guys want to do a full hot take video, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I can react to your hot takes for a video. Anyway, that's my hot take for the Buccaneers, that Mike Evans doesn't get 1,000 yards receiving. And besides that, you guys' team is old. You guys are pretty old. I want you guys to do good. I just don't know if it's going to happen. And I have to give you guys 8 wins. The Tennessee Titans are now up. I'm going to give them 8 wins as well. I think the Titans are underrated. They had probably the best offseason out of any team in the NFL. You go and get J.C. Latham in the draft. You obviously have DeAndre Hopkins. And then you go win the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes. You get Tyler Boyd from the Bengals, who was a really good number 3. He's going to be a top number 3 on the Titans as well. Like, you gave Will Levis so many options, not to mention you took L'Jarius Sneed, who's a top cornerback, from your AFC rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. So you aced the offseason. It just depends if Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans can go put it all together and be the team that they constructed throughout the offseason. And finally, we have the Washington Commanders. I'm going to give the Commanders 6 wins. This is a team that I am really interested in seeing because I think they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. With Jaden Daniels, Austin Eckler, Terry McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson leading the way at the skill positions and quarterback. But we just don't know. Jaden Daniels is in an okay spot, but I think he's going to have a lot of growing pains this rookie year, and the defense is not good. It's weird because the defense went from really good to really bad to really good to really bad in 4 years. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, that is my takes for the NFL season. I think a lot of teams looking at it are going to be very, very in the middle. It's going to be very competitive this season. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support the channel, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.